All right, welcome everyone. We are just now trying to get started and rub off the shenanigans. Today, Stefan is joining me, so bombard him with questions. He's loved doing that this
Oh,
week.
oh, bombard me with question.
So, um, I know last week I said that I had recorded this and was going to put it up on YouTube, and that is still the case. But Thanksgiving kind of put uh, a hold on that because I totally forgot the video file with me. So I'm going to have to do that. So hopefully this week I'll have both this recording and last week's recording available to everyone on YouTube. But there are some differences. There was an update that the guys pushed out between the last video and this video. Nothing major, but it's still pretty cool. Let's see. One of which is we finally got an icon for the custom base shape filter. it's a little, a paintbrush, which is really cool. And there's been a couple little updates to the actual way you see things. So instead of that slider, it's just buttons here to subdivide and non-subdivide the mesh, which is really cool. And there's also, which I just saw, a flatten button and a reset button. When you enable custom base shape, is it going to automatically flatten it like this, or is it going to just take whatever the generated shape is of the terrain like we had in World Creator 2?
It's currently flatten. I mean, it's just currently flattens the terrain. But if you press reset, then it operates on the existing terrain.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's maybe a little bit,
Oh, that's good though.
not clear yet. I mean, also, you can see the buttons are not aligned and all this. Just still under development. So yeah.
Oh, that's cool. No, this is perfectly fine because it gives people options. Jonathan Winbush is here. Thanks for joining, man. He loves World Creator, it seems. So thumbs up to Stefan and the team. You know, we all know Jonathan.
Yeah, Jonathan is online here as well. Hey.
Yeah, some good content flowing out of him too. If I were to hit add so the biome system for custom base shape isn't in just yet, I don't think, right?
Yeah, it's almost done. I actually thought we could have finished it today, but we didn't. So, but it's almost done. So, yeah. What today? It's Wednesday. Oh, I totally forget the days already. Yeah, I think we can release another update either tomorrow or on Friday, where the biomes are working again. So the custom base shapes will operate per biome, and yeah. So this will be finally finished, and then we can go with the beta for those who own the pro license. Yeah, and then I expect a lot of bombing emails and a lot of screenshots, I hope.
Oh yeah, the screenshots are going to be one of the shoot, no, I messed up. Oh, real quick. If I did this, I know you can add to it, but is there a key command to remove part of what you saw?
Yeah. Wait, what was the command? I think it was Shift and the right mouse button, right?
Oh. No, Shift is this. Maybe it's Control. It's still Control. There we go.
Yeah. Okay. Good.
All right, let me reset that. So he was saying maybe by default, whenever you enable custom base shape, it should just automatically come to this state, and then you get to choose if you want it to flatten. Also, in the last stream, I totally forgot. Last stream, I was working off one tile at a time when I was painting, and I totally forgot that I could hold control and make it bigger.
Okay.
So that was my error from the last stream. which is
And you saw the difference. You saw the difference between starting with a low scale subdivision and just upscaling it without. I
yes.
mean, and the terrain is not changing at all. This is so awesome.
Right. It's not changing the the way that you would in World Creator 2, where you would have to remove the detail of the lower level steps in order to get the subdivisions. This is a lot better.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So for anyone that wasn't part of the stream last week, none of this is planned. We're just kind of, or I'm just kind of making it up as I go. But I did mention that I was going to try to make some sort of like Arctic shelf, which is the point. So we're going to make something that's like a sheer ice cliff face and work off that. Whoopsie daisy.
I think we need a different, or let's say an additional navigation where the terrain is always in the center and just rotate the camera, focus with the center and around the terrain.
Oh, like it automatically locks to the center of the terrain instead of me doing this.
Right.
Maybe it's a
I
don't know. Maybe it's a key command that you can hold while you rotate that'll automatically show itself or automatically snap to the center origin point.
Yeah.
Where should we send our findings with the beta version? Our findings.
What is findings?
Do you mean? Yeah, I mean, I didn't know if you meant like your bug findings, the bugs that you find, or your renderings.
Okay.
Bugs. Yeah,
bugs. Okay, bugs. We do have Trello at Trello. You hear that R? Trello. This is typical German. Trello. If you, we do have a Trello account. I think we will open up another one, especially for this, because I don't want to mess the things that we have currently running for the alpha, for the alpha testers. And there you can just write in everything you will find. But I will announce it in time and set the links. The last time we had done this, I don't know, there was someone in there who's just deleted all those all those things. So yeah, hopefully it's not happening again.
Wasn't me. I'm just gonna say
like a normal 3D program.
I'm just gonna say it wasn't me.
A work rate is not normal. There you see, also, enlarging the brush is now different than before. Before it was always like circle, and now it's also taking those steps in between. Right here, you can see that.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's a little bit different now. It's more accurate, actually.
Oh, I see. It's taking. Obviously, it would be smoother the more steps you.
Yeah,
the more steps you use.
Well, we're gonna have stamps here as well. So that brush is currently just it's a procedural brush.
Mm-hmm.
But we're gonna add some more stuff that you can import, like stamps, and use those masks and use them as brushes as well. So there will be more options here soon.
That's good. We like options, don't we?
I can't unhear the German accent. That's awesome.
All right, let's.
How does German accent sounds like? I don't know. Does it sound very harsh, or
how does it sound like?
Yeah, is it sound? It's there are some languages. If you listen to them, it sounds like more like it's like singing. Then you have languages more like fluent stuff. Like the English language is more like it's like a mix between a song and very fluent. You know, like it's like a flow. You're talking like a flow. It's never interrupting. It's just very interesting. And some languages sound very aggressive. It's very interesting. So I don't know what German artikuliert. So artikuliert. Yeah. Okay.
I would
It's not as bad as Dutch.
I would say, I don't know. I think when you actually speak German, it's kind of got like a little. It's really cool sounding, but it's also, I think the way the verb is said is has a little bit more strength to it. I don't want to say harsh is the right word, but it's kind of has that really straightforward sound. Yeah. There's no in between. Like it is what it is.
It is what it is. Like the Klingon language is very aggressive. Yeah, it's of course it's just a fantasy language, but
also I know one thing that's been a request is over here, I'm sure they're going to do it, is listing all the key commands for the stuff that I'm doing on the turn. Yeah. That'll be, I have no doubt, part of it.
Yeah, of course. We also have tooltips later on for everything. And those tooltips will include the key commands as well, showing them you'll be able to set up your own commands with a proper input system and switch having key command presets. Yeah, we learn from word creativity. So
that's one thing I was wanting was for the second program to have custom key bindings for different things, because certain programs, the way you pan and rotate around anyway are different between some 3D programs. And I know for me personally, my programs have always been one way thanks to Autodesk, and I've just gotten so used to it one way or the other.
Yeah. This looks like SimCity.
SimCity.
Yeah. Yeah. It is actually like the SimCity editor. Oh, that's cool.
So in that case, actually, no, get off there.
Oh, that's cool.
So in that case, I should make a ramp from here up to here. That's just a straight road, a road ramp.
It could be waterfalls.
Yes, it could be waterfalls.
Waterfalls.
So actually, going to align. I love this feature. I'll pull this back up because I think I made it a little too.
WordCreate 3D UI will be slightly different. I think it's more structured, more organized. You can see that in the biomes. In the biome tab, you have that custom base shape tool, which is the first icon. You have the second icon, which means for the filters. Then you have the third icon for the textures. The fourth icon for the objects. That X will just it actually indicates for deleting that biome, but since deleting is just dragging the biome into the scene and removes it, I'm gonna get rid of that.
You're gonna get rid of the X?
Yeah. I'm gonna keep this as simple as only possible. I think it's more intuitive just to drag it out of it instead of using that X. I don't know, just got used to it. I really like this. Server is currently unavailable. Well, you need to download the latest release of World Creator, which is 2.4.1 F1. 2.4.0 F1 connects to a server that was shut down. We made several upgrades for the server structure. We are building up servers for the European Union, for US, and for Asia. And the license server is actually handling these countries, or not the countries, these regions. So you would have to switch to the latest release. It's actually exactly the same build, except that it connects through a dynamic system on the server, so then it will work again.
Mm-hmm. So apparently you've said that string of numbers quite a few times, 2.4.0 F1.
Yeah.
which is the version that I have up right here now.
You have the older version, the previous one, which connects to the wrong server right now, but it still is working because you have the license file.
Yep.
But until 30 days, the license file will stop working. So you would have it will ask you again to sign in.
To sign in again, yeah. So since he mentioned it, one thing that he was concerned about was in World Creator 2 was the UI. Sometimes it was so irritating and confusing where things were placed. Will this be a thing to look forward in World Creator 3? So the idea behind World Creator 3, as I understand it, is simplicity. So where things are placed or should be, I would imagine, more straightforward than what you're used to.
All right.
So yeah, you can see it's just a little, they're similar, but they're a little different, and how it's structured is just going to be on a whole new level.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I'm going to leave. Actually, I have an idea. We can do some comparison and contrasting of filters real quick. So let's just add a filter that is similar to, let's just see what Canyon does real quick. Okay, so that was pretty quick. Well, apparently my machine is too fast for me to really notice the difference, but especially when, let's try and add some erosion. Just because.
Just because.
All right, so that did fine, but let's now see what the same filters look like here. So now I just totally forgot which filters it was that I had. Angled erosion, hydro, and erosion fluid. So
but the angled erosion is not available. I mean, you
gummit.
You can recreate it in the simulation, but I don't know the proper settings because the angled erosion is one of the preset filters using the grid simulation. It might take some time.
Let's just add grid simulation anyway, just because it's fun. And then erosion fluvial. Granted, the only real substance that is changing here is the actual cliff, because it's most of our detail right now is in the cliff.
Yeah.
Hold on. Here we go. So we can see it a little, the detail a little easier. And this is actually the effect that I'll probably use in a second. Angled break. What is it? I don't think I've used this.
What's that?
Listen. This is more than just World Creator. It's World Finder. All right. We're finding. We're finding a lot of interesting effects here. Apparently the custom base shape is really driving where this is going right now.
Yeah, it's a bit too flat.
Yeah, it's too flat, but it did, let's see. It did have an interesting effect on the cliff itself though.
Yeah. I don't know. I think the angle break is doing a bug right now.
Oh yeah.
It shouldn't be holes.
Well, I'm not giving it much to work with right now. Let's see. Let's just take this off. And let's focus. on 3. The point is I'm trying to make is World Creator 3 is just way faster than 2, especially whenever you see yourself getting into more detail. It's quite nice. So the premise of what I'm trying to trial and error do here is this piece here is the shelf, the ice shelf, and this is going to be like the low-lying water ice. And hopefully by me doing these little divots, I can make some of the water that's visible kind of appear like slightly melted ice and slightly not. Let me go ahead and try and get the water to the right height. Not quite high enough yet. So this all the way down. I may have to pick up the terrain just a tad. But
I think if you click on the text box and move the mouse, it's more accurate. And you can adjust it a little bit better.
Oh yeah, right there. It's ever so slightly. You can see the terrain popping up. This is fine because I'm actually going to just fake where this is in. So we'll keep that height for now. Also, just being able to click and edit that, I'm sure will come pretty soon. All right, let's see. Let's go back to Cratered Cliffs because I like the sheared drop here. But I may have to reform the edge a bit, which is nice because I don't have to worry so much about, let's see. Aha. The tools to shape all this is really nice. Instead of having to worry about areas, just being able to sculpt at will is lovely. Let's select this. Getting it a little lower. All right, so is there a way to bake out textures that are using the remove tiles option in this version?
It's not yet, but you will be able to do that.
Famous last words. Not yet. Yeah. But you'll be able to.
Not in the alpha. But yeah, I mean, this was asked a lot of times for World Creator 2, and we're gonna add it into World Creator 3 for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's least it's
been asked a lot of times before. So yeah. Well, we need to add it actually, yeah.
Aha, there we go.
Oh, okay. I see what you're trying to do. Awesome.
Well, I messed up how the filter's carving into a lot right here. So I'm just trying to blanket it out some. Which actually reminds me, maybe I can. It's good to try and do as much of the shaping as you can without relying on filters. Like I can take this piece here probably. I'm not masking out yet, but take this piece and add a flatten filter to kind of flatten all these effects. But the more that I can do without the filters as a shaping aid at first, the better off the filters will be. I don't know how well that actually is true or not, but that's what I've felt has been a pretty good outcome. Especially like in World Creator 2, the way I like to do terrains is always use the has height map and custom base shape, not custom base shape, but like actually sculpt the terrain. If I can get like level step 5, for example, is a really good one, as well as level step 5, doing a sculpt on the 5th level and a separate sculpt on an 8th level is a really good combination in World Creator 2. But I don't have them like 100%. Like I still do them slightly offset from each other so that the filters have something to work with. But in this case, it's nice to let the filter. You don't even have to worry about what level they are. You just sculpt. So the more you can sculpt without relying on the filters, I've always felt is a bit better. So maybe 50%. There we go. All right. That looks pretty good.
Yeah, cool.
I'm still finicky about this top piece.
We need to add more selection tools, I think. Like selecting areas depending on a specific slope or something like that, you know?
Oh yes, I just thought of that. Have like a magic wand tool like in Photoshop. So you can set the parameters based on slope or angle and whatnot. You just click on the terrain and it automatically selects it. Actually, that's a really good way to do quick masking for the eyedropper tool. So say you have, say this terrain is textured and you have textures all over the place of different caliber. If you're wanting to quickly select, sometimes you'll have, say, green is replicated 3 different times with different parameters of how they're distributed. Say you want to select that green with an eyedropper tool and make a mask for it instantly to add a new texture or filter based off that new mask selection, whether it's adding wetness or rockiness or applying objects to. So that'd be a really cool way for quick selecting as well.
Yeah, just writing it down here. Selection.
Okay, there we go.
Selection options. Let's call it selection options. But that's really cool. Let me see.
There we go.
Like custom base shape. Selectors. Slope. Height. Color. Yeah, color selector. That's pretty cool. Slope, height, color. It could be actually anything, right? With thresholds, of course. That's easy to implement. Yeah, that's cool.
Perfect. That would be awesome indeed, Rod. Photoshop in World Creator 3. Okay, so let's.
Oh, yeah.
Let's add a rule here so that the canyon is only applied to the cliff face. Trying to get this. Oh, I know something I want to do. Change the precision. There we go. It just instantly looks much better with shards of not glass, but ice.
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of which, is nope. I was thinking precision of 1/8 of a meter was ready, but I guess not.
Don't do that right now.
He's like, terrible things happen whenever you do that. All right.
Yeah, we still need the heat map information for these distributions for the filters.
Yeah, that's all right. No harm done. With a trained eye, you can see it happening immediately. See, that's so. Yeah. What this does, what's nice about this is, since I've made the canyon filter only apply to the cliff face, is it's adding that rough detail to feel like it's broken ice, while the shelf itself in the Arctic and Antarctica is usually pretty relatively smooth. I mean, it's mostly just the differences in water and ice clashing together to make these cracks and things. Let me open up an image to kind of show you here's one terrain that I'm hoping to recreate in here whenever we get masking, like being able to do custom sculpt and masking as an option. So it's Arctic. I think it's Arctic Swirl. If I can find it, I'll show you what the idea is.
I'm just gonna note that down. That was where there was missing ridges. It was ridges and dimples. Was it dimples? Dimples. Okay, dimples. I have to check the translator what it is, but it sounds really good. Yeah, thanks, Submesh. That's pretty good to have these words here.
So this is the kind of thing that I'm wanting to do whenever we get more masking as an option. Let's see. Sometimes not that. That's water. This was another one.
Dimples is Grübchen.
These little, being able to do these swirls. I've tried to implement this in World Creator 2 before, with the distort filter. Works pretty well like that, but you have to change quite a bit to get it to look the way you want. And this effect right here is one that would love to recreate. This these ice cracks, this little shelf effect right here.
Yeah, I see.
I think we can do that now, but it's going to take some brainstorming of filter trying to get that effect looking the way you want it. But I think it's best going to work out whenever we're able to sculpt our own masks. Whoa. Hope no one was watching that. That was really epic. Oh, gosh. That's a good point. So selection, flooding with threshold, for example. So if you select with the mouse, it will look for angles so you can only work on dimples, ridges, or the lower part of the shelf. That's a really good point. A really good point.
Yeah.
Oh, let me finish my thought that I was going to say before. The other part was one right here. The canyon kind of helps me out is when ice falls, it can collect right here. So it would be kind of rough and built up. We'll add some, is it not in here yet? Oh, okay. Maybe we can fake it in, but the talus erosion is a really good filter for adding snow buildup along the edge of an embankment like this. or kind of like this right here. So snow can build up and fall in those areas. There's also I think I mentioned this in the last stream after you left, to try and add a snow filter. So maybe there is an application for telling, kind of like the grid simulation, where you tell the filter how much snow is consuming a certain area, because snow isn't quite so fluid. It's powdery and it collects in certain areas, and when it melts, it always melts on convex areas before concave areas. It melts quicker, obviously, in the sun. So anything that's in any snow that's based on sun direction from the shade and shadow will stay together and not melt as fast as snow that's in the sun. So all these different things. Wind is in effect. So maybe the wind filter will have an effect on where snow is falling, based on what's being hit. Stefan's like, you know how long that's going to take to code?
It shouldn't be that hard, actually. It's just an addition.
Yeah. Be careful what you say.
Yeah.
Shouldn't be that hard.
Could be a nice experiment for a snow filter.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right, so let's see. Let's try this.
I think we need a number for the subdivision so we know at which level we are.
Oh, right here next to the plus and minus.
Yeah.
Yeah, so let's see. So I wonder, I don't know, would it be better to see, instead of saying, hey, it's been subdivided 5 times or 4 times, if that, because, you know, if you go down to the lowest subdivision, it's technically a 2x2 grid, right? On the lowest subdivision. I don't know if
that's 4x4, I think. Yeah.
Oh, the base.
Yeah, I think it was 4x4. But yeah, regardless. Yeah.
Gotcha. Well, regardless, if the subdivision number, instead of it saying it's been subdivided 5 or 6 times, if it actually said what the final block result is, whether it's 16 by 16 or 100 by 100 and whatnot.
Yeah. Well, the maximum is, I think, a pixel per pixel. Yeah. Well, that's quite a lot. 2,000 by 2,000, 4,000 by 4,000. Oh. I love those widgets. That height widget is pretty cool.
Which widget?
Then we need that height widget here that you see.
Oh,
that
this
ruler. Yeah. I like that.
Mm-hmm.
I think. Oh, there could be another tool. Let me see. For not push, but maybe something like push it down to a specific height value.
Yeah, I think that's one thing that we had mentioned once before, especially like with the ad. So let me just select a corner where I don't screw up. So like right now I'm holding down on shift, but maybe it's something where once you engage this, you don't have to hold shift anymore, or that way you can free up the key bindings to type in the value. I don't know. I don't know what's going to be the easiest method. Maybe it's something that will be easier whenever you have the observer tools back in here, where you can see with the mouse where things are, because I use that quite a bit in World Creator 2, figuring out, okay, on the cliff side, halfway up the cliff is 100 meters. So I want to increase, I want to sculpt this portion up to that particular point. So then you have the sculpt based on a height specific, location, and I can type that in and start sculpting and adding up to that position. I don't know if whenever you set this, if add is operation mode or whatever is set to a specific height or not. I think this might have been something we brought up before. I'm not sure. Is it possible to have localized levels of detail in your height field? Would help for shaping the ridge edge in this case, like painting in higher subdivisions. So yes, that is. I don't know if where that
actually
logic is.
Actually, this is what you could do already, right? I mean, you could.
He's
I
saying
don't know
like
if it destroys the terrain right now, but if you increase the subdivision,
you want to test it.
No, I mean, if you increase it, just save it away.
Oh wait, I can.
But if you increase,
okay, so
it
real
should not destroy the terrain.
Real quick, saving is in now, right? I can save this and it not crash.
Yeah, you can say that. You can say that. Yeah, if it's the latest release that you got, and then you can save it.
All right, hold on, let's try this. Nope. Okay, it didn't crash. Quality stream right here. Okay, so, well, I think to add to his point, what he's asking is if, say, you don't want to mess with the subdivisions of anything else, but you have a local area right here. Once you select this, and then you increase the subdivisions of that particular localized mask, and then adjust it. We've kind of talked about that before, where we say we want a higher level of detail based on a mask selection. But let's go ahead and see what.
It won't work like that, sadly. But you could, for now. I mean, you could right now just go ahead and increase. Increase the subdivision right now. Do it.
Oh yeah, it stayed the same. It's adding more subdivisions.
Yeah, go on. Add more. Okay, now move in and now change some stuff slightly. Okay. Oh, you're going to the maximum, right?
Is that the maximum? I just clicked it.
I don't know.
He's like, I don't know what. Nope.
Yeah.
Okay, that's the max. That's the absolute max. All right, so we're.
Okay.
I didn't know this was possible.
And now change something. Yeah, just raise it or whatever.
I did. It's
okay, and now reduce it again, please. Let me see what's going to happen. Yeah, that's a rendering bug. No worries. And now reduce it.
So
don't go further. Okay, now you lost.
Oh.
Yeah, I think. Oh no, it goes back. Okay. Oh, you're losing some quality here.
Yeah, I think it. It lost the quality there.
Yeah. We should have to store it.
But guess what? Here's a beautiful thing. I am hitting undo. I'm hitting undo.
Oh yeah, you got undo right. Let's see if it works.
Yeah, I'm hitting undo. There we go. We're back to.
Oh, that's awesome.
Back to the little nugget that we had.
Yeah, see that undo is working.
Undo is working. So how do you have a limitation on how far back undo goes?
I think we have 100 steps right now, but this is something that you can push up to 1,000 or 4,000 steps. It's no problem. It's just a list of actions. Yeah, and actually this could be really huge.
Mm-hmm. Wow, I don't even know what to do with this many subdivisions. I'm kind of.
But it's still working awesome, right? I mean,
yeah.
With respect
to get out of this
to the performance, right?
Yeah. So it'd be interesting to know if later, because when I did this and came back, it may not come. You say it doesn't come back exactly the same way it was I had originally.
Yeah, now you have to do undo again.
Mm-hmm.
So you just woke up?
Hey, Kiwi.
In New Zealand.
Yeah, what time is it in New Zealand right now? I don't know if it's a 16-hour difference from it is from me, or
I would say it's 6 o'clock or 5 o'clock a.m. Let's see.
Don't cheat and look it up. Let him tell us. 8
Oh, it's
a.m.
8.
Oh.
Oh, damn.
Oh, that's a shame. All right. Well, anyway, good morning to you, Kiwi. We're just having a little fun meddling in what everyone wants right now.
We get 8 a.m. in Germany, 8 p.m. in Germany now. So you're, well, exactly 12 hours? No. Yeah. Awesome. Okay. I need to get a coffee, yeah.
Yeah, go ahead and get you some. Ooh, camera sensitivity. Oh, let's try and.
I think it's already going crazy here. Yeah, it's getting too late for them.
There we go. So we can definitely sculpt. I could spend hours sculpting, but I think the big deal.
No, you can't yet. No, you can't yet.
I can't.
No, I'm answering Kiwi.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, you can't yet. You can't yet.
I was like, of course I could sit here for hours sculpting. What are you talking about? This is fun.
I love that new sculpting mode. It's so simple. It's so awesome. It's so fast, especially. It's so fast. I mean, look at even at that high subdivision level, it works. It's just amazing.
Yeah, and keep in mind, I've got, I just have 2 on here now, but we could probably, let's see. Oh, I love the balloon filter, but I don't think it's going to work out well for this particular. Let's add some sedimentation, because sedimentation complex is great for snow, and just adds that much more realism. I'm gonna fix these little, I don't know what the heck these things are, but I'll fix them. Question: will there be a live link type function with Unreal? The ultimate question.
Well, we want that. Yes, we of course we want that. It's actually a must-have, but it will take some time. Unreal teaches us that. It's not that easy. We had that with Work Creator 2, something like a bridge tool. It works pretty well, but I think we did something wrong, because we have to adapt the API each time with each new Unreal release. So I don't know why we have to figure this out. I must, to be honest, we didn't spend too much time with it, as we had to push the development of Work Creator 2 and Work Creator 3 forward.
Mm-hmm.
But once this is done, we're 100% for sure we're going to focus for Unreal, for sure. I mean, this is a must-have, yeah. Absolutely.
Well, fortunately, having a pipeline from this program to any program aside from just Unreal is, I'm sure everybody wants. I know in Unreal's case, terrain-wise, it would be a great feat to do, but I'm sure it could be done with Python scripting or something. But I know, let's see, it probably can be done, but I wouldn't say right now with the current state of the program that it should be a high priority. I think the rest of the programs, I think the rest of the program should be the higher priority, is getting all the other features within. Because right now you shouldn't have to rely on a live link, even though that would make life so much easier. Because even now you can manually do it all, but
it would just improve the workflow with Unreal. So that's a pretty good thing, actually. Yeah, so you just see. I mean, the next step is now to finish the biome stuff, make it working, and it's currently not doing the job that it should do. We get this done hopefully this week, hopefully tomorrow, then we can upload the new update, and then we're gonna do the very basic export thing. Like, we just do for now a one-click export, which exports all the the height maps and all the relevant data, like the mass for the textures and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
This is for the beta because people, of course, want to test it with other apps as well and see how the height map is looking like and all that. And then one of the biggest things with WordCreator 3 will be the new tiling system. It's where you just add tiles to the, let's say, to this terrain tile. You can add tile into any direction, as many tiles as you want. And we're actually just going to add another workflow into that, which means that you can either do a large landscape or even just use one WordCreator scene to set up different independent landscapes. So you could have one project for 5, 6, 7 different landscapes that you're working on. And this actually leads also to the ability, maybe the possibility that we were thinking about having. Let's call it a gamification, a multiplayer support where an entire team could work with the setting of biomes within a single scene of WordCreator, creating different terrains. So, like 2 or 3 people doing 2 or 3 different terrains, or working. Each one is working on a single tile of a large landscape. So this would increase the the production time, as you're not limited to one person only handling the entire terrain, but you can set up multiple persons through a network connection to work on the entire world.
That's really handy.
Yeah. And then we have the other thing that we need to adapt the Otoy version of WordCreator. And WordCreator 3, bring in WordCreator 3 into the Otoy subscription as well. So it's quite a long road to go, but I think we will have the tiling done in January, mid-February, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Voxel support. We initially had Voxel support, wanted to have it in some WordCreator, and it's still not off the table. I don't know if it's really necessary to have a Voxel how's it called, editing tool, but I think what would make sense for the first initial step would be like transforming the terrain into a voxel-based terrain, and also reverse, like importing a voxel-based terrain and transforming it into a height map-based terrain. Of course, you will lose data like case and all that in such a case, but on the other hand, if you turn it into a voxel-based terrain, then at least you could utilize it for voxel systems.
Mm-hmm.
And we still will keep the option open for adding voxel editing support into WordCreator 3 as well. So, I mean, I see the demand for voxels, so I understand why it might be interesting. This is really cool what you built here. That's pretty awesome.
Trying to play around while you talk. Sorry?
I see the demand on the voxel-based terrains, so I fully understand why it's asked for, but it won't be something that we're going to add, within the next 4 or 5 months or something like that. So there are higher priorities right now for the tool to be, then we need to add. That's really cool here. I mean, never thought about this, doing stuff like that here.
A lot of cliff work, eh?
It looks like a shelf was, I don't know, it just was sliding down or something like that.
Yeah, I think that was could have been the idea here, where it just slides down and compacts.
Yeah, cool.
anyway,
That's cool.
the biggest challenge for this particular terrain is going to be the texturing. So I'm just trying to get the general
texturing on ice.
A lot
I
of
would say you need a texture which is white.
Oh, okay. Well, no, you have
maybe some dirt.
well, ice isn't just a blanket. I mean, of course, if you put snow on it, there's going to be some different. The wind is going to have its own pattern on the ice shelf itself. But if there's any ice that's visible that the wind is blowing, it's going to be rough. Ice in the Arctic and Antarctica isn't a glass surface.
Yeah, right.
Like you would think it is. It's really rough. It's only whenever water gets onto it from waves or whatnot, it's whenever it starts to sheen. But usually, or if the sun is at a really obtuse angle, it'll be really reflective. Going back to what Kiwi said about getting the height scale correct is the hard part in Unreal and World Creator 2. I'm assuming that's what you meant, Kiwi. So I've been working on some terrains lately with real world data, and it's essentially a balance. You can get, as long as you know in whether it's Google or whatever world application you're looking at where you can see topographic data, you just have to know that which is the most tricky part, the highest point and the lowest point of distance on the sort of data that you've captured, that you're using, the real world data. So say if the highest point of the terrain will be 500 meters above sea level, and the lowest point that you've estimated is, say, 200 meters above sea level, then you've got a 300 meter range. So the height map is going to be skewed to that 300 meters, but in World Creator 2, you can kind of work out so that the range in the observer tools is 300 meters. So whenever you bring that into Unreal, you have to just bear in mind you have to know what that range is. And usually those little percentage values make a big difference. And also the scale of your terrain makes a big difference. If the scale of your terrain if your terrain is a 4K terrain in real world, and you're trying to make it an 8K terrain in Unreal, then you've got to scale the height of, the Z-axis, that extra percentage. You either double it or half it, whatever your need is. So there's a lot of understanding of scaling that you have to be in mind of. But if there was like a straight live link from World Creator 3 to Unreal or Unity or Octane that just plugs all that stuff in for you, that would be great, but it's a learning curve. So he's saying the Z value of 100 in UE4 needs to be 100 in World Creator. Yes, but
I know what you mean.
I know what you mean, but getting it to actually do that is widely dependent on the actual size of your terrain. I know you want the range of Z value in World Creator that's 100% to match up with the 100% in UE4. But sometimes, like for example, if I'm making a terrain in World Creator 2 that's 8K by 8K, and the precision level is going to be 1 meters in World Creator 2, but in Unreal Engine, it needs to be 2 meters, for example, and you're wanting to increase the scale of the terrain to represent a 16K terrain. Well, then your Z height wouldn't be 100 to 100. It would be 200 or 50, whatever it is, in Unreal, or vice versa in World Creator. The Z height will never scale 1-to-1 from World Creator to Unreal unless you intentionally decide that from the beginning. That makes sense. I've had to do some math to get the scaling right between the range. Unfortunately, in World Creator 2, it still tells you what scale that ought to be to match the range, but you actually would have to implement that separately in Unreal. Yeah, getting Yeah, I understand getting the map to look the same in both programs is tricky, but I think the team is trying to make that tricky gap a smaller and smaller gap to help Stefan out a bit. that gap, I know they're just trying to make it much easier to do. Speaking of real world data, is there any plan to link World Creator to online data? Stefan? I might have missed him saying he left for a second. So I think that would be awesome if it could be linked to online data. I'm not entirely sure if they have that planned or not, but to link to, Pulsar or Aster or USGS for the United States people, to be able to link. Oh, he's on the phone. Okay, he'll be back. So to have, like, maybe that's something that could be, because I know this is in Cinema 4D and Maya and SketchUp and Revit. There's geological data that you can grab. So if here in the terrain, that would be really awesome if I could just grab the data from here and that data already have a satellite image attached to it and everything just to get working. That's a huge feature that I think could be added. Now, how they're going to get that connected to, how they're going to work that out, I don't know. But I know satellite imagery from the Alaska Satellite Facility, I think it is pretty popular. Yes, ASF Vertex. So this website is really cool. It provides all the types of data that you could want from satellite imagery, whether it's vegetation, moisture, sun angles, erosion, height data, all these different things you can grab from this website, but it doesn't filter it out to a specific footprint that you're wanting to capture like terrain.party does. Terrain.party uses a lot of the same data that this website uses, but they actually crop it. But it would be nice if, there we go, if this program was able to connect to that as well. What's the cost of that Alaska website? Well, if it's all free, if it's all data that's free to the public that's available. So all you have to do is just create like an account with their website so that you can, create like a download profile and whatnot. So if you can capture all the data or download all the data and use it, then great. But like I said, again, it doesn't filter. Like if I want to draw a square on Google Earth, it doesn't give you everything that you need in that particular square. Yes, you can, but it's a bit more work than I think is worth. Like it gives you some incredible detail, depending, and again, it all depends on where you are in the world. If it's anywhere outside of the United States, then it usually is either going to be 90 meters or 30 meters. Some spots, it'll be 10 meters. If it's anywhere in the US, they'll do 10 meters, and in cities and in some natural parks, it'll even get down to 3 meters of resolution, which is insane. But again, you would have to take that image that you get from them or that XYZ data and you would have to plug it into either some type of geological program that you have that will generate the height map for you, or you would have to, if they have it, a height map from the website, where you would then have to put that in Photoshop or GIMP, and you would have to crop and scale it to the terrain size that you're wanting. Yeah, I don't know why. I know there's some new satellites going up that that I know that the Alaska facility is utilizing now. Two different types. There's two different types of lidar scanning that they're doing, which is where the 3 meters and 10 meter precision is coming into play. But that is, I think they've started doing that in certain key locations in the U.S. and they're trying to branch out. I know SpaceX is part of that. I think it's part of that initiative. I think on providing satellites up there to get some higher detail scanning of the planet. Bless you.
Oh, thanks. Sorry. There was a phone call.
Oh, I missed this, Kiwi. Sorry. So you're saying
direct connection to existing dams. Yep. We will have that.
Good. He answered it.
just reading the questions here.
Yeah, I was actually answering some of that. And I was thinking that the dim could be here in the terrain part. Like maybe you can, in the terrain category, you can have a little area where you capture the data, which would be really cool.
Yep.
And select which data source you want to capture, perhaps.
Right. Yeah, we need to see because they are from some free sources, but they don't have that quality, and they also don't have the entire world. So we actually do have our own data collection from Mars and Earth as well, and also from other planets on our solar system. We have this because due of our previous technology that we did 8 years ago. So we're gonna probably take that for the base source. So this could be pretty cool because I don't know how it is connected with the let's say with Google. I think you need to sign up for them, and you only have a specific amount of data that you can download. So
really?
So it's limited. I don't know. This is the last information that I had, and anything beyond this is something that you would have to pay for. I don't know if it's limited. I mean, at least if you want to use it commercially, like inside an application, like in WordCreate or something like that. But I need to check this. But it would be amazing if we just could use Google Maps or Bing Maps or
right.
That would be really cool.
Only gives 8-bit files. Yeah.
Okay. Terrain Party only 8-bit files.
Yeah. Sometimes.
Sure?
Actually, I can check that.
But that's really bad. 8-bit is not good. Wouldn't make. No, this would be not good.
Yeah, let me check. I thought it was 16, but it could be 8. I think the issue with Terrain Party is that no matter what's, like, if you're choosing between an 8K terrain and a 60K terrain, it gives you the same resolution texture or resolution height map no matter what. That I don't like. I really wish that it gives you the resolution of the terrain no matter of the precision of the terrain that's actually there, which is the downfall of terrain.party is where it does that. Let me see here. World creator ...
And those really high resolution data maps are really expensive.
Yeah, if you get like the really, really big ones from companies. I just showed them a website called the Alaska Satellite Facility that has some pretty high resolution stuff. It's all for free, but it's not quite as easy to get a height map out of. There's a whole lot more steps to do it, but it is like 100. Like I spent probably an hour and a half downloading like an 86 gigabyte file or folder once full of one terrain. I'm like, oh, this is too much. All right. So let's see. Aster merge. Nope.
You're talking about that, Roland.
Details.
We're having for the custom base shape too. We're gonna have brushes using like stamps. So this would be exactly the application you're asking for.
I just looked at one of the the textures from Terrain Party, and my PNG says 16-bit, and that was from a source that was not in the US. So I'll download.
You already can clone. You
Sorry?
can already duplicate inside World Creator 3.
You can what?
Duplicate that cliff and move it away.
Oh, duplicate this?
Yeah, you could duplicate your entire cliff, selecting and duplicate and move it somewhere else.
Oh, that's right. Copy. Actually, let's try and do that after I do these little swirls. After I do these little things.
Well, you can undo.
Listen, I love that. Undo. I love that there's undo, but I don't want to have to if I can avoid it. Okay. Also, I love, this is really small because I remember how it was before. Me changing edit modes and the selection still be there is, I don't know why, but that's one of the best performance things that I've seen thus far. I know it's quite belittle of me to be happy about that, but all right, there we go. Save. Yeah, so let's set the operation to let's try rotate.
Oh, rotate, yeah.
I don't know. I think the shelf is fine the way it is, but for the sake of showing things off, let's try to rotate this. So we can, for fun, rotate it it's always based on where your cursor is. So let's do it right here. And look at there.
Yeah, trying to figure the anchor point.
Yep.
Look at this. Look at this. This is so awesome. I like this.
Now that I think about it, I'm just going to keep that. Let's do that. So let's build up. So cool. Let's build up a little cool, piece man. Here.
Oh, this is so awesome.
A line to here. Boink. No. There we go.
You lost your selection.
There we go. So now that we have some sort of piece here, and we can carve this away a little bit more.
Voxel bridge tool.
Say rotate. Duplicate. See, look at the duplicate feature is really nice. So I want to duplicate this.
That's so cool.
And then I want to grab this. Oh, yeah. Grab that, and then let's rotate it right in the middle. Something like that. And so this piece, if I want to get rid of this piece right here, because graphically it's doing some funky glitches. Let's set to align, select a low point here, shift and 100%, and it just erased it and flattened it. Really cool stuff.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. I'm thinking cloning from a map onto another map to insert details from a section onto a map. For example, take a mountain or a crater to insert it into a map you're making. So I'm assuming you meant like personal stamps, creating your own little terrains that you can stamp into place, Kiwi. Because if that's what you meant, then yes. We've already talked about, on the last developer stream, we've talked about, say, if I want to select this piece right here, Okay. So and I don't want that piece. All right. So say you like this piece that you've created. And so if you want to, you can say right click on this mask and export just this piece as either a mesh, either an alpha mask. You can choose if you want to export just the height map or if you want to export whatever textures. I would assuming all the export options you could think of from this selection you can use. But ideally, the main premise that I would like to see is just being able to save this mask out as a stamp and use that stamp within any other project, which would be really cool. Because sometimes you can do that now in World Creator 2. I actually show how to do that in the main series, I think. So in the main series that I've been doing in World Creator 2, which I should have the next video out next week, I create an island in a standalone file, and then I export a high resolution height map basically of that island, bring it into the main file and use that as a stamp.